Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Snow Sweet Snow, the main Swiss stage. I, myself, EXWARRIOR, together with Retro, in this best of 3 series, we've been bringing you the first map already, Nemiga versus SAW, and it was Nemiga that were able to get themselves that first win, 16-10. A nice little comeback to come underway there for SAW, but it wasn't quite the deal breaker for Nemiga, as they did manage to change things up. But it's SAW's map pick now on Vertigo, and now it's their time to shine, as they are heading into the pistol round.
Nemiga on the CT side, this is SAW's map pick, so you can only wonder what can SAW bring to the table, and then can Nemiga stop SAW in their tracks and take this series 2-0? We'll find out soon, as seems to be MDS will be the first man to try and hold off the push that SAW will deliver, but a beautiful headshot. I said MDS lacking, and in fact, Stadodo has found one. MDS and JO found one apiece though, and JO to double down, looking for a second denied. Muterus and just back and forth, and MDS finding himself a second on 6 HP is left just alone in a 1 versus 2. We'll need a triple kill within the round to keep him and his team's dreams alive within this pistol and to keep them pushing forward. But just now holding down the angle. Oh my god! Beautiful double dink catching out box. And now it's just MDS to find. And he's only one body shot away. Just on the other side. Oh my god, this is all about timing. Will he know that the players rotate from CT to jump?
I mean, he's checking
up?
it. Oh, one shot.
Engagement mate. Who's going to win? Oh, just. Not even a body shot, but a flick shot, a headshot, a triple kill 1 versus 2. And SAW take the pistol.
I was clutching my arse throughout that one. But yeah, SAW get themselves a pistol. And at this point, they will be getting themselves that so trustworthy economical advantage. Though we are always seeing that force by coming in from the Nemiga side as well. We'll be seeing a couple of MP9s, Deagles all around. Just a single MP9 onto JO, actually, even some utils. So they'll be looking to do damage to the economy of SAW. They're looking to challenge them, and if they're able to find that round, perfect. That's exactly what they want to get themselves right back into the game. Materials will be starting things off here in mid. And the ramp push may be imminent here for the SAW side.
Bulk's going to rattle off a couple of shots. Doesn't connect with all too much right now as Nemiga just looking for some damage. They're not exactly looking for that Hail Mary send to win a round. This is a force buy though, so that'll definitely be in the back of their minds, trying to demolish the economy of SAW. But Roman aggressive towards lane, and now this is something that I've seen from Furia, right? They like to do this, where they get smoked off, they get whatever it is towards ramp, yet they still just hold on. Roman holding the angle aggressively. No one from Nemiga will predict this as of right now, because, well, why would they? Now they'll know that Roman's there, though. He won't hold W and instead just try and flood the players off the angle, as it'll be the rifles and the SMG on Roman to try and hold down towards the A site. Lollipop to peek first. Does invest himself in an engagement. Curious to find a headshot, though, and really opened up quite possibly the passageway onto this A side. The execution on in. This balance caught in the smoke and has to back away. He knows that staying within it is a detriment to him within the round, and big damage done. I'm not sure if that was by a nade or the spam. It's just HP evaporating from the side of Nemiga as we hit the 30-second mark. SAW now going to send their troops out.
They are indeed. They are going to start pushing through. Mac 10's drawn out. Arky finding one, Roman the other. Should be fairly simple stuff from here. MDS, though, he won't shy away from showing some aggression. As JO, he's able to pick up an MP9 and do work with it. 2 kills for him. With a Glilmel look to find the third as well. Continue to damage SAW's economy. Now SAW, it's most likely they'll win this through, but JU, if he finds a couple more headshots, things might get dangerous though. No kid at hand. This is surely going to be the lost round here from JO, but SAW doing a stellar job getting themselves on the site there, not losing too many players. Although they did lose 2 in the end, it was a force buy at the end of the day here for Nemiga. Therefore, it was absolutely vital they were able to get themselves some of those kills. That MP9 will gather some money up from JO as well. Therefore, they may be able to bring an AWP to the equation in the next 2 rounds. But for the next one, I believe SAW may be looking for that 3-0 start.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, it seems to be the odds in Nemiga's favour. SAW nearly on a 3 multi, which is quite interesting, I think, because right, we were talking about this last map, in the fact that SAW aren't inexperienced on this map. This isn't their home turf. This isn't like the Hail Mary map that they need, but this is their map pick. And even though they are a map down to nothing, they've got to consider their options. And so right now, I feel like Nemiga, they've got to deliver within this round. The odds are great, I feel like, in SAW's favour right now. If there was ever a time for Saw to start winning, it would be on Vertigo to take it to that Dust 2, that decider we were talking about. You know, Saw should have picked this up 2-0, should they have picked up Inferno, because we think Vertigo is going to be theirs. But at the same time, Nemiga, they're showing signs. They're not exactly demolishing or finding an extreme amount of damage, but individually they seem knowledged within this map, within the confines of Vertigo.
Okay.
Roman lining him up and gunning him down. Double headshot collateral for him. Just going to execute Idis. Balance and Jago to follow suit. Box alone and 1 versus 4 with the P250. It's not looking too lightly. Beautiful from Saw.
Most players being deleted there from the Saw side. And Box now with the P250 won't be able to do too much, but Saw, that's a stellar start from them, right? They were able to get themselves into the site, finding those quick kills, and Jayo couldn't do too much with the Galil he was able to accumulate from the previous round, so they will be losing that out on this one, as Box may try for that exit frag, may try finding a kill and get himself that rifle onto the next one, but it's going to be a tough task. He won't be looking for the defuse, no defuse kit either on him, although looking for a distraction, perhaps to deny a save in the end of the day. Maybe something he will be looking for, but Nemiga, this is the round they were fighting for. The round that they're fighting for is the one that is coming right away. That 4th round here on the scoreboard. Saw start things off with a 3-0, but this is the point of contention. This is where the AWP comes in. Jayo is able to drop it down to an Idis balance. M4's being drawn out all around as well, stacking up with that utility. Nemiga, this is a time to challenge. And Saw, now let's see how they face against this 4-buy. This is where the action begins.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, Saw are looking to continue the lead. A lead that they've built up over time, and it's actually doing very well for themselves. Money is booming, I would argue. No matter win or loss, they can reinvest into this round. And so heading into round 4, Nemiga, not exactly in the worst of positions. To Dodo, finding the first. Box removed. A beautiful opener. Yet again, Saw buying themselves the early man. The clauses just keep on giving for Saw as they continue. Just provide within the confines of this A site. It seems to be that A site is just their home turf, their home ground, effectively, where they just keep finding these openers. And yet again, they might proceed with pushing it. Lollipop on the other side, waiting patiently. It's only a matter of time until someone runs into him. The question is, can he get enough done?
That is the question at this point. Nemiga with a man down here at the 1 minute mark. As Saw look to push here from a ramp. Lining up the forces, getting themselves in line to get those smokes underway. Cover their tracks. Lollipop holding up a really close angle here. He's going to get a little bit of peek through. Swift comes through, but Roman, he's able to find the refrag coming through. Just what a beautiful headshot now. That's the entry that Saw need onto the site. Lollipop, though, still around, still can do damage. Will peek through. He's able to do some damage after Roman. He's able to find the kill on AK-47 pick and collect the Jayo. Now the rotation Arky gets him off guard. And Saw with a bomb plant here, with Lollipop all by himself, position pretty much compromised behind scaffolding here. Meteorus will be able to spray him down. Saw, what a good round there for him. Beautiful entries all around here from the Saw side. While Nemiga, not looking that comfortable on the defense. And I must be honest right now, because they will likely lose that 5th here. Saw will be looking like they're on a solid spot to get themselves a 6th. It pretty much seems like it's pretty much the opposite of what happened on Inferno, right? Last night, it was Nemiga on the T side on Inferno to get that themselves this early lead, but it feels like Saw, it might be their turn to turn things back around. But remind you, Vertigo is much more T-sided than Inferno is. So if Saw can take this, they could even grow this lead and extend it even further.
Absolutely. Right now, it's only a matter of time. As Nemiga aren't exactly in the best of spots. We know that they're not. This nade, oh my god, monstrous damage, and the utility just keeps on giving as Arky finds the first. As I was saying though, Saw, they are basically gift wrapped in this scenario. They keep finding themselves an early man. It doesn't matter now. That was the first time they found elsewhere other than the A site. It is towards B, and it is the first kill found. But Saw, going back to Old Faithful, they do have some control towards ramp. This balance tucked in close. And will they check this angle? Saw, this could be a 1-for-1. Yes, Dodo. Beautifully done. And now they have to rush. They can't afford to allow the rotates to happen. All 3 players tucked in towards B, and so they've got to make it quick if they want to beat Nemiga to the site. And by the looks of things, they're going to be doing exactly that. Lollipop moving on around, dropping a nade. Dodo might actually drop to that. No, just finds the kill through the smoke, and in a 2 versus 5, Nemiga no more. A 5th on the board for Saw.
Yep. And yes, may look to save that Kevlar, but no, it's the damage that they're looking for, the kills that they want. But Saw their flawless round so far. They haven't dropped a single player. Not looking too shabby from them. Potentially get themselves that 5th on the board right now as the bomb ticks away, as it will explode shortly. But MDS, they know exactly where he is. I think he peeked through earlier, but Muturius, he's just going to hold down the line, not allow him to get any kills on his teammates, and won't be risking losing that weapon either. Growing that economy is of essence, of course, here from the Saw side, especially if they want to hit the road running. With the 5-0 start. It is Nemiga yet again with that second buy round to come in. This is where they challenge once more. A couple of rounds ago, we thought, okay, Nemiga had a chance from that 3-0 start, but with that 1-2 to come through with a pistol buy, and now with a force buy coming in, the 4 all-around buy coming out from the Nemiga side, this is where things need to change. Double AUG buy for them, AWP into the hands of iDisbalance. A little bit of a timeout may give them that little bit of extra time to reset and reconfigure their thoughts heading into this one. No AWP to challenge at this point here on the Vertigo side, here on the Saw side for the Terrorists, but iDisbalance has a good chance coming into this one. We are seeing a little bit of a disconnect here, potentially some sort of a technical issue to come through, a little bit of an unfortunate turn of events, but hopefully that will be resolved fairly soonly. But yeah, Nemiga, this is their chance to come back now. And with the weapons they have accumulated, I think they have a good chance in doing so.
Yeah. You couldn't have asked for a better start for Saw, and Nemiga need their chance to get back into this one. Of course, as we know, Saw 5-0, but the statement more to be made is that the fact that right now, it seems to be that every round they've won it near flawlessly. I think that there is a couple of kills here and there across the 5 rounds, but every round it seems to be that Saw survive with 3, 4, 5 players. There are no problems. There's I don't want to name and shame, but Box yet to get a kill. iDisbalance with 1. Admittedly, JO's at 4, and that was because the MP9 double kill a couple of rounds ago. And the AUG with MDS 2 and 4. None of the players on Nemiga are going positive. And that only indicates that Saw are doing something correct. You know, you might see a Hail Mary player on the Nemiga side of things where he's like, I don't know, maybe 6 and 4 at this stage, or just something where he's doing the damage. But there is no difference maker for Nemiga. It's Saw that are doing everything right now. And as obviously, as you mentioned, this technical timeout because of a disconnect, it's frustrating, but it's only here to highlight that Nemiga now, they have a time to relax and reset, but at the same time, Saw, they'll only be planning out the next set of moves. This is a game of chess where Nemiga are only playing in 2 dimensions, and it seems to be Saw might just be playing in 8.
We do have word of what the issue is. Lollipop seems to have some ping issues, apparently around the 1,000 mark. That's not good news for the Nemiga side. Hopefully that gets resolved. But we did have a fairly technical issue today, right? We on the previous matchup, it wasn't us that brought that underway. I believe it was Zephyr and Ted that brought that your way, but they also had their fair share of technical issues. And I believe it was more on the TeamSpeak side of things, but yeah, these days happen, right? It wouldn't be Snow Sweet Snow if we didn't have these technical issues, but it happens from time to time, and there's nothing really that we can do about it. But we did discuss the fact that Nemiga had a really good start on that Inferno side, right? We did say that their T side was looking as strong as Saw's side did right now, but we did see some sort of a comeback come through on their way. We saw a little bit of a spark grow in them when Saw got hold of that T side, and they're moving on and taking this momentum on to Vertigo right now. The fact that the Nemiga haven't really found their footing on the CT side of Inferno, even though they were able to close out the last 2 rounds of that game, just shows right now that they are in that very comfortable spot. Although we did talk about this, they do have the weaponry, they do have the arsenal to deal with this upcoming round, and it is a very good chance for them to do so. And with the loss bonus coming in, with the 1 point something K mark on a few of their players, they may be able to get a force buy underway as well, but it's not going to be a comfortable one. Therefore, if they don't want to get themselves to that 7-0 scenario, they need to win that, or else they'll be in big trouble.
Absolutely. Right now, let's see. What is Nemiga's next move? Hopefully those ping issues are going to be resolved quite quickly, as you mentioned. 1,000 ping isn't exactly something that Nemiga will be willing to play. I mean, rightly so. Yeah, rightly so. And so, As hopefully we wait for those ping issues to be fixed. You can only wonder what the problems are. And I mean, we've had some serious technical issues today. I think the last game we saw Skade, they had some big technical difficulties, and a couple of days ago as well, or yesterday rather, when me and you were casting, there was a couple of delays that led to our delays. So, you know, it sucks, but that's the only problem with this being all online, with it being, you know, all basically not on a LAN where you are going to run into these issues, where players are going to have these problems, and it sucks. But chat, you're going to have to bear with us. What I'm interested though, while we've got a moment to talk to you and interact with you, chat, predictions. What are we saying? Scoreline for this game? Saw 5-0. I mean, you know, there might be some very big Saw fans.
You had to ask,
Retro. 16-0, of course.
I'm expecting the 16-0.
But I'm wanting genuine predictions. I mean, you know, we sat here and said 2-0 for Saw. Obviously, that's not exactly going to happen now. But we were talking about the possibility of a 2-1 Nemiga, but I don't think we've quite considered that Saw now, looking sharp on the start of Vertigo, what is their next move heading into the third map, heading into Dust 2? I mean, it could go either way, right? We've seen Nemiga, yes, statistically better chance, but, you know, we saw Inferno, better chance for Nemiga, but Saw still managed to close out a fair few rounds on their T side. So what's not stopping them heading into map 3 to pick up a couple more rounds and apply even more pressure?
Yeah, of course. I guess you mustn't forget the fact that the Vertigo is more T-sided, right? Inferno was a big surprise that we saw that Nemiga absolutely demolished on the terrorist side, but now it is kind of standard, especially when you're at the caliber where Saw is. You would expect to see some sort of this lead. 5 rounds in a row is obviously substantial, but when it gets to that 7th, that then is when you start thinking out, right? So I'm not calling it like a 16-0 so far. I still think that Nemiga have a good chance in coming back into this. It's still early days in this game. I think Lollipop has reconnected now, thankfully. Everybody's on the server. We should be starting things off. But yeah, you mentioned it. It really could go either way at this point. But Saw having that stellar start at the start, showing that they can aim, showing that they are back in the server and showing that they can perform to a certain extent. Dust 2 may be a dangerous prospect from them as well. Heading into this one, we can... apologies. We can only wait and see how that one turns out, but it's the Dodo taking this aggressively, picking out Box as he pushes through his smoke.
Beautiful first to Saw yet again. Grant themselves the man advantage. Put themselves the man up. Grenade goes deep. They are going to continue to try and spam on through. It's Lollipop to try and ring out horror for the Saw side, but they just tuck away, play passive, don't give them any chances. And right now, as time slowly winds down, there will be some chances for Nemiga to claw back this man. Right now, though, they are going to hold on. Just simply play passive, not really give all too much ahead of them, and Saw play with time. They've got a minute left to make some work happen, to make the magic happen, to apply some pressure, but I just don't see it happening as of yet. And as these smokes continue to get used, continue to form around them, Saw they're going to be trapped in, and they have to find their way out and to wriggle their way onto the site. It might just be towards AI disbalance, catching out the man, and now into a 4 versus 4. Saw now have to aggress, and they have to face into an AWP, and they have no time for rotation.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of either balance so far in this map, but finally finding his frag here. He may be able to find some more heading into the site as they push through ramp. Idis Balance has the right crosshair placement at this point, but they are jiggle peeking through. Lollipop needs to cover his track though, as they are looking to push through. Nice little spray down though, but now Idis Balance needs to reconfigure his position. Peeked out from 2 different angles. He needs to find the kill or else he'll be in big trouble. That's exactly what happened. Roman fires a headshot. MDS able to return quite fast, but it is down to 2v2. Rotation coming in from J-Yo, just holding down the line. Could do a lot of damage, but the ult being thrown out as well from the Nemiga side. This could be a very, very dangerous prospect. J-Yo, he's finding one. Arky, he'll rotate all the way back around. Throws down Incendiary. This is perfect. It will go directly onto the bomb, but the smoke comes out. It will allow them to defuse. Nice little spray down to come out, but MDS finds the shot with the AWP, and Nemiga find themselves on the board.
Beautifully done. Very well played. And now, heading into round 7, Nemiga finally pencil in a first. Finally get themselves a way on in. And right now, well, they've got to chain more together than just one. They can't afford to just give up a singular round. Saw, they'll of course bite back. They've got an investment, and it's a big one. It's a monstrous one. Orp investing on Sudodo, everyone else on rifles, full utility across the board, and Nemiga don't have those luxuries just yet. Yes, they do have an Orp and Idis balance, but they don't have plenty of utility. But it doesn't matter. Idis balance finds the first, Roman no more, and now, an early man gained, and it's in Nemiga's favour.
It is indeed. Dangerous prospect here. Box, ooh. I'm not quite sure if he saw just head there. That could have been fairly dangerous. They are pushing through. Oh, no, it's behind the scaffolding. Okay, okay. I got too ahead of myself. I thought it was in the corner. But now he could be able to peek him out. But just a little bit of a peek coming through. But he's able to find the headshot. And all of a sudden, they find themselves at 4th. So 4 players versus 4 right now as they are heading on towards the A site. But 2 players holding it for Nemiga. They need to find these kills before the entries come out. Smoke coming through as well. Holding up the site, cutting it in 2. But Idis balance holds down his ground. Has to fall to Sudodo. Won't be able to survive too much longer after that bomb drop. But they do have time to bring it back up around to the B site if they want to. It looks like that may be their choice. But they are pushing around onto the A site. Sudodo getting himself on the site. Getting that plant down. Will be getting it directly under their noses. Jayo finding one. But all of a sudden, Jace is able to find Lollipop. 2v2. It's a complete massacre. MDS finds one. Sudodo into the smoke. Needs to find the kill. Misses a shot, and that will be his death. Nemiga getting themselves the second with a defuse coming in as well. And so they've just lost the streak, and it looks like they may have lost a little bit of confidence. And Nemiga getting these retakes, and they are pretty much flawless.
Unreal. You cannot ask for a better performance for Nemiga within that round as they continue to uphold. They needed that second round, and I talked about it just a moment ago. We said they need to find themselves more than just the first, because Saw will bite back. And Nemiga have done exactly that, effortlessly, winding down the time against Saw, putting them under pressure. Yes, admittedly, it was a fairly early execute, the early man giving up. But Saw, they just can't seem to get it done right now, and Nemiga most certainly going to try and abuse the window they've been given by the Portuguese side. Heading into round 8, it will be an investment yet again by Saw. Nemiga, though, they are in equal amounts of utility, and finally, they're starting to cause some problems and some questions for the terrorist money. But for Nemiga, they're in a very similar situation right now, so heading into round 8, it's all to play for.
All to play for, indeed. Nemiga still winning through, although they're not winning them that decisively, still in that dangerous economical spot. A lot of pressure upon them. But similarly could be said to Saw. They would be able to survive another round after this, but it will start to get harder. It will start to be a little bit more of a tough spot for them, but with Nemiga holding down their ground, with not going too aggressive at the start, it means that Saw, they've progressed here on ramp. They could get themselves this push, could get themselves on site. With a double peak coming through, no one is going to hold their ground. Nemiga going for that 3-man retake. They're allowing them to take the site, which is fairly interesting as well. They let Saw to use all of their util, and they're looking to push through collectively as a 5-man roster. Already Box will be able to get some shots through, not doing too much damage, but HE Grenade will do a job onto Sudodo. Up above here from the box. He will surely get spotted out, but jumps away as the smokes fade out. Roman holding down the line, but will be falling back, playing for that retake. Bomb will get touched. Now, that's pressuring situation here from Saw. 5 players can hold it down. Whoever peeks, that'll be a bit dangerous, but smoke coming out here. Sudodo, he's able to find one. And now, Nemiga, they're under pressure. Bomb gets touched once more. Sudodo finds a line. He's able to push forward. Box finds one, but that might not be enough. Nemiga down to 2 players, but Box all of a sudden finds 2. They're running out of time. They do have the defuse bit, but he's going to stick it through. If he dies, it's over. Saw win it out. Barely in time, but they are getting themselves a 6 and not allowing Nemiga to come away with any more wins here.
Big damage done as well, and you stare at the Nemiga economy, and it is shot to pieces. Once again, they deliver again. Saw back on form, a 6th on the board for them. And I wonder just for a second, Nemiga, they had chances. They had a great chance to pull back this round. Box is an absolute beast, and I don't think Saw can deny that either, as he tears down the side. And unfortunately, it's just not enough. They can't find the defuse in time. They can't get themselves onto the site in a comfortable enough position. And it will be a 6th round given up. And they are on an eco. They don't have the luxury of rifles nor SMGs. They've got 1 M4 on Box, and that is it within round 9.
MDS. He's going to hold down the line. Ooh, what a shot there on Muteris.
Wow.
That's even an unorthodox peak to come through, but he expected it. He expected that little boost there. He was able to find that frag just like that. I mean, yeah, it's not expected that Nemiga will win this, but any damage as well. Can HE grenade? I think it's going to be thrown out onto Jayo shortly, but I think it was... No, it was a molly and a smoke to come through. So it wasn't HE grenade, but no. Jayo holding down the line, trying to find the headshot, not able to do so. Arky and Roman both finding a kill apiece as they are pushing through connector as well. So it should be fairly simple here, unless iDisbalance is able to find a couple of heads, but does look a little bit tough. The smoke's coming through, blocking him completely out of the sight. Buck's going all the way around as well. With that M4, he'll be looking to save it on to the next round, but Saw getting themselves that 7th is exactly where they would like to be. Making sure that they will have a substantial amount of rounds here in the half, although haven't quite solidified the lead. Box will be able to find Roman. Kind of goes for the trigger discipline, as Roman does kill his teammate. So, yeah, maybe it would have worked out if he killed them down. His teammate might not died there, and he could have survived, but yeah, I mean, he was hoping for something. But they're going to buy up anyways, right? They're going to have enough money to get themselves fully onto those weapons that they love. The rifles, 3 AUGs as well. I'm seeing a lot of AUGs come out lately. It seems like it is becoming a meta again, and it's been a few months since that has happened. But yeah, these long distances on Vertigo at the start with those scopes really help out. That one-shot headshot potential is that difference maker that these teams are looking for. And if you have the economy, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, right now the org is just... I think it's such a big opportunity on Vertigo. You just line up heads with the scope, right? For example, MDS, I mean, you could... Yeah, exactly this. He scopes in, and he just holds a very fine angle. Because of the dot crosshair that you're given instead, it's so much more accurate, and he'll fall away. He'll try and look elsewhere. He's blind completely, caught towards pillar. That is just unbelievable from Saw. Beautifully executed. They just catch everyone off guard. They find themselves 2, make it a 3rd, and Saw, that is an 8 on the board for them. As Fedodo punches in those digits, Nemiga struck down once more, and the bite for Saw is just doing amazing work right now. And 2 rifles to be saved, and if you're Saw, I mean, you have the money quite possibly to hunt. I'm looking at Arky. He can drop. Muteris can drop. Roman can drop. Plenty of chances for Nemiga to get chased down by the Saw side, and that might just be exactly what they're up to towards ramp.
It is indeed. Looking through. iDisbalance. Able to find a shot, but will get shut down instead, so more damage inflicted over to the Nemiga side rather than the Saw side. 4 players remaining as Lollipop does look to push forward. Muturi's holding down that ground though, holding down the line, pushing through. It's a wide peak as well, but he wins it out. He's able to find the head. No player surviving here for the Nemiga side, and that was a very, very, very expensive round for them. They used a lot of money. They bought up until the last penny. And that will mean that Saw, they're in a stellar job to get themselves onto the 9th. And that's exactly what you do, what you want to do here on the T side, on Vertigo. So much momentum, nothing given to the Nemiga side. You would expect it would have been somewhat of the more equal side, but Saw, they're completely annihilating their opponents, carrying the momentum on from the Inferno side on that T side they had during the end there. But Nemiga, they are 1-0 in maps. If Saw do win this, we'll be going all the way to the 3rd, but Roman holding down the line here right beneath the smoke. Materials will get shut down with 2 players holding it down, but he's able to find a good old spray down onto both. Nice little transfer there. So he'll be surviving with 10 health points. No panic at that point. JO with an MP9 will be looking to do some damage, but really, there's nothing much they can do. It's the A site that Saw are looking for. No one from the Nemiga side are anywhere close to be found. And you have to be thinking, Retro, what on earth did Nemiga do to come back, right? We saw that tactical timeout to come through. It was followed by a technical one as well. They were able to get themselves a double op setup, which ended up working in the end when Saw only had 5 rounds in the bag. Do they go for something similar, or do they change things up a bit?
I don't know. Right now, it seems to be that they are doing a great job in the hands of Box. He's found himself 3, looking for a 4th headshot as well. Just swings wide, though, and that is a crucial frag to be found. Jo from behind could cause problems as well. Caught out by Muteris. Beautifully done. And now it's all down to Lollipop, alone against 2. Not exactly a good performance from him so far. Currently 3-10. He'd need 5 kills to his name to be able to take this one home. And I just don't see that happening. I don't see Nemiga picking up a 3rd right now. And Knight's on the board for Saw. Just looks way too good. And now, heading into round 12. I mean, what do Nemiga do? You were asking this. I think their best bet Oh, no.
Oh, Lollipop. Okay. Oh, he nearly killed them as well.
Very, very lucky. Just keeps his cool. I mean, had Lollipop have swung that, though, I don't think he was prepared for the late swing.
No.
And so that could have been bomb dropped. He could have scooted away with an AK. That could have been awful. Worst case possible for Saw. But, fortunately, they're able to turn things right back around. Heading into round 12, you asked what an Nemiga need to do differently. I think, first off, they need to show some aggression. The rounds that they did, it was eye disbalance with an AWP, found the kill towards round. They played passive off it, and they had a great chance. It came down to the wire. I think it was a 2 versus 2. Unfortunately, they weren't able to convert, but they went on the offensive, and they found themselves the early kills. And yet again, I'm just seeing Nemiga, they're trying to find themselves something, but it's just not happening.
Take the fight to their opponents is exactly what they want to do, but they can't quite just yet because all that util thrown out early on from Saw. They know that Nemiga want that push. They know they want these early frags, but they're holding down the lines. They're not allowing them to have that alternative into this round. I mean, Box previously he did a stellar job in trying to come back in the end. It pretty much seemed that Nemiga would have turned that around, but Saw were able to collect the pieces in the end. Little peek to come through, Just was expecting it. Shoulder peek at the start, spotted out, Just not the same for him. And that's the numbers advantage early on. Molly thrown out at the backside. That will mean that Lollipop will have to fall further back. The A site's pretty much deserted, but either Spans holding down scaffolding with the AWPs, able to shut down the Dodo. And Saw down with equal numbers, but now they're drawn back completely out of the site. Saw could definitely get the bomb planted here, and post-plant Saw have been winning this round after round. Molly's incendiaries, HE grenades as well, will keep them at bay, won't allow them to plant for the time being, but as a smoke fade, they may be able to get the peek through. MDS finding that one frag. Arky, though, holding down the line. Bomb does get planted, but he's stuck in position. Just holding down the line from where he is. He's able to find one as well. Roman helping out J.O. by himself. Saw, what a performance! They're not allowing Nemiga to do absolutely anything as they devour one player at a time. And they get themselves onto double digits. A little bit of a tactical timeout to allow their opponents to dwell on the fact that they are so far behind. But my word, they are destroying now. Muturius on 5 digits of economy. AWP to be dropped on in, no problem whatsoever. They could last for the next 3 rounds, the last 3 rounds of the half, no problem at all. On Amiga, it couldn't be the same for them.
Unreal. And Saw actually taking a timeout now, interestingly enough. And as you mentioned, a beautiful round. Very well played. And double digits. 10-2. Who would have thought? I certainly wouldn't have thought that it would have been this one-sided. But then again, we wouldn't have thought Inferno would have been so one-sided, you know? I think that right now it seems to be the clash of two titans, and they're picking up their map picks with considerable pace and considerable fashion. As we head into round 13, Saw have got a fall by Nemiga back on the pistols.
Already? Well, Muturius is able to find that quick frag onto his opponent there. Eyeless balance shut down. Nemiga onto the pistols, like you said, doesn't look that possible though. The MP9 from Lollipop could do a fair bit of damage. J.O. holding down the line as well. Roman will be looking to aggress at this point. Molly thrown out will mean that J.O. will have to move out of the way. MDS as well has to get out of position, and no reinforcements coming in as well. Although they double back from the rotate as well. MDS is able to find one. Oh, he finds 2 as well. Oh no! If you saw, you can't let that happen. No one else there to pick up the rifles. That's 2 AK-47s in the hand of Nemiga if they play this correctly. Push coming through, Sododo finding a nice spray down. Box is able to punish with a 5-7 now. Peeking through from behind. Saw haven't found entry onto the site just yet, but they might be able to do so just yet. Pushing through. Box held down, held back. Molly will hold them at bay for the time being, but Jay, you're pushing aggressively, but just needs to support his teammate as the bomb goes down. It has been planted down to 2v2. Spray down. They haven't collected the AKs, and that might cost them. Box all by himself. Spray down for Just. They keep themselves into the game, even though they made a mistake at the front end of that game. It's around that counts. And their economy isn't that hurt that much either. Nemiga had a solid chance there, but couldn't make it happen. It was an eco round. It wasn't too bad, but they need to find these wins, right? They can't afford to lose anymore. And now they'll get themselves a bye round. They need these last 2, or else I'm calling it. Saw would be able to win this map and take it to a 3rd.
Wow. You can't ask for a better scoreline for Saw. They've lost 2 rounds, yes. But at the same time, they've got 11 out of 13. That is an unbelievable scoreline to uphold. And they're going to continue with this mentality, this winning, gaining mentality. They cannot be stopped right now. It seems to be no matter what Saw are trying, or what Nemiga are trying to throw at Saw, they cannot be stopped. And a 13-2 half most certainly on the cards as we head into the penultimate round. A full investment from Nemiga leaves them in a lot of trouble should they lose this one, because it will be the SMG buy on the last. It will be a very uncomfortable scenario for them to be in. And this is just very costly, I feel like, for Nemiga. Dust 2 seems imminent.
It does indeed. And it looks scary. I mean, Saw, they're really outfragging their opponents right now. Every twist and turn, they're able to find that early advantage, and it's all up to the fragging potential that they just bring out to the table. It's just so scary to peek one or two of these players. Either Spans might get caught off guard, that's have to crouch down to evade those bullets, but just the aggression on this man, the cojones on this boy. He just devours them one by one, and he's not a boy anymore. He's a grown man. He's a grown lad. He's got a ton of experience under his belt, but Nemiga, they get themselves a buy round. But as the last round in the half, well, no, they've got one more round after this, right? I can't do maths. Yeah, it's going to be the 13th. There's going to be a couple more rounds after this, so I'm not getting too ahead of myself. But Nemiga, right, they're not really performing up to par right now. Saw completely devouring them one by one. Lollipop will try and get the frag here, try and survive with his M4. Perhaps to get himself an AK or an AUG if he tries, but Meteorus right behind that corner, may be able to find him. He did hear the drop, he is expecting it, finds a headshot on Nemiga. They're really having a tough time on this map.
So well played. And Nemiga, they seem to be running into so much more trouble and heading into the last round. I said it was going to be problematic. And they have rifles, but they have no utility. And I feel like the utility usage is what's buying Nemiga the chances that they're getting. They are using the utility, I mean, fairly well. I wouldn't say it's been rewarding enough, obviously, from the scoreline. But they just can't seem to get much done. And Saw are so controlling on this map. And so as we head into round 15, you can only expect, Saw to pick up yet another one. And there you go. Nade damage done. Storero down to 81. Arky spots the shadow, finds the first, nearly a second. But that's a HP trade in which Saw are more than happy to take. They know that he's tagged Jo down to such a minimal amount of HP. As Saw push on in, if they play a 2 versus 1, there should be no way that this man kills both. He is tucked in close angle. He's in an uncommon spot, but Storero edging on forward ever so slowly. Will he check it? Yes. Ooh. And he'll nail the shot. Beautifully done. Now they can pressure towards B because the rotate from Idis Balance is in. He does meet them on the site. The question is, can he get it done? Beautiful flashbang. Muteris knows exactly what's going on. Lollipop on jump up has found one. A dink onto the second, but Muteris holds strong. Box against 2. Bomb down. And it's looking like a 13-2 half.
Nemiga doesn't seem like they're finding the winning trades of this one, but finally Box finds himself in a 1v1 situation. Excuse me, he's found the one, he found the second! That was a little bit of a flick there. I think it was looking like, I don't know, 45 degrees to the right, and all of a sudden just one shot was required. A couple of bullets just ended up the job. So yeah, Nemiga get themselves the third here. Obviously, it is better than getting that 13-2. You know, they'll get anything they want, but it is the same scoreline that we saw in Inferno. Literally the same, but it's the other team to turn things back around. It's Saw with the 12th. And Nemiga really need to have a solid T-side to come back from this. I mean, Saw did have an attempt on Inferno to bring things right back around. They did get themselves to that 10th in the end, but Nemiga were able to close things up. Now, do Saw close this one out just like Nemiga did, or even in a more dominant fashion? Or can Nemiga bring out a T-side that will blow us away?
Yeah, they need nothing short of a spectacular performance. So I'm certainly going to be very happy about this one. I mean, a 12-3 half, you can't frown upon that. But at the same time, Saw know they were at the receiving end of this scoreline in the first game. You know, you were talking about map 1, Inferno. It was the flip side. It was Nemiga that were at 12 and Saw at 3. And so Saw now must realise, wait, we made a comeback to make it a 16-10 game. Nothing stopping Nemiga from doing the same. And Saw just needs to pick up a pistol. There's timeouts left, right and centre. Both teams using this time to think through what they're up to. This is nothing short of what needs to be a spectacular performance from Nemiga if they want to close this out in 2.
It is indeed. You can tell that they're under a ton of pressure. With the tactical balls coming out, they'll... Did I just combine the word technical and tactical into one word?
Technical.
Technical. But no, it is a tactical pause coming out from Nemiga, and rightly so. And I like this from them. It means that they want to get back into this game. And winning that final round of the half was exactly what they needed, but they are at a massive deficit right now. The rounds have changed. Now they are getting themselves on the T side. This is where they start, the map starts to favor them. But without finding entry early on, this gets dangerous. And we mentioned this on the previous map on Inferno. One pistol round from the Soar side may allow them to finish up the game. But that wasn't the case on Inferno. So I am going to bite my words. I am not going to say it just yet. I'm not saying that Soar have guaranteed the win, as Nemiga still have a chance here. They will try and go for it. Peeking out, Roman. Ooh, nice little dink at the start, looking like they want to take it aggressive, and they're already pushing up here on A ramp.
Early damage done. Saw gonna feel the wrath of that one. As time again, we realise Nemiga, they're gonna have to work something out as a team. They can't afford to go one by one. We know Saw are the type of team to punish for those mistakes. Just jiggling. Spots the man, he's going to call for the flashbang, goes high, peeks out, beautiful. Can't do the deed though. Does do a little bit of damage to MDS, drops him down by 15, but still, Nemiga, they're going to look elsewhere. With 50 seconds to go, they've got plenty of time to pull this rotate, plenty of time to shift the play from A to B or B to A once again, and it will be that they end up quite possibly towards A through ramp. But the only problem will be is that Saw, they're gambling towards B, but they've got a very easy rotate towards A, and that's exactly what they're doing now. They're going to rotate on forward. Flashbangs are in. Mutiris to spot 3. Mutiris to find 1. Lollipop has caught 1 off in the meantime, though, so they're going to have to check for the backs. Justin's to Dodo, though. It's a one-sided affair once again. Desert Eagle, or rather Glocks, excuse me, can't do all too much, and it will be this balance, though, finding himself 2, and now Box alone against 2. Has to do everything. Mutiris has a kit. There's a smoke on the bomb. He has to spam on through. Mutiris will tap it. Will stick it. Will give every opportunity.
He can't find him.
Out of ammo. It's all done.
Oh,
13
no.
on the board. That could have been a 4th on the board for Nemiga. It's so unfortunate the kit was there. And then to add insult to injury, just gonna nail it. 22-4. What a performance so far.
Absolutely devouring his opponents here on the server. 22-4, a scoreline that you can be proud of, especially where you are on this 16th round of the game. Not quite sure what the KD is on that. I'm not KDA ratio. I'm not about those numbers, but Nemiga, they tried right at that point. Either Spallant, thank you for that retro. Yeah, 1.5
Okay.
exactly.
No, 5.5. 22-4.
5.5.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's really impressive. Boxo, he's able to find 2. A little bit of force spike coming out here from the Nemiga side. Saw also joining in on the fray. So 2 players left here from the Saw side with M4s at hand, doing damage. Just, they find it. Although the rotation coming into the B side here, Saw will be ready for it. Just having 1 player here. But Mutiris is onto the A side. He will be able to find the read. He knows exactly where they are. Rotation to come in, but MDS wins that one out. Nemiga should be able to win this. They cannot afford to drop this. Saw will be getting themselves on that 14th. We've seen that 14th be so dangerous. And we're going to see it, but not right now. Because Nemiga get themselves a 4th. And it seems with the weapons they have accumulated, they can keep this one going. Could close down the gap. And being on Vertigo, they may be able to find themselves some sort of tempo advantage and get themselves a few rounds in a row. That's what they're looking for. That's what they want. But I wonder if they can close down this gap, because it is fairly substantial.
Yeah. Unreal. They continue to just show that their dominance, it's not exactly all over just yet. Saw now, they are on a bit of a wonky buy. The force buy, Desert Eagles and armor is usually the protocol. Mutiris on the CZ, will peek, will do some damage, only tagging Box up for a 5th of his HP, and so nothing to worry about all too much for the Nemiga side, as Molotov goes in close. Shots continuing to rattle on now. It's the M4 to try and claim souls left, right, and centre. Roman will catch up once. Stadodo's found another. Now, hold on a second. Lollipop needs to go huge, and he does exactly that. A 2 versus 2, however, but Stadodo could have found a huge opportunity. Denied, though. And the nades flushed him down. Low HP. Has found a tag, though, onto MDS. And in a 2 versus 2, Nemiga actually not in the best of places in terms of HP.
Oh, they're double backing on this. They're not quite sure that they are committing to the A side, but they are sticking around. They want to make sure all the peak coming out here from Sandbags. MDS hit finding the 1 kill onto Arky. 2 kills for Lollipop's name so far, but he's on down health. Ooh, Stododo will peek through with a crouch peek, but it is Nemiga to win it through. 5 rounds now. And Saw in a very tough economical spot. Likely to be yet another round here for the Nemiga side. Closing up the gap, getting that 6th, but still have a long way to go. I mean, we're talking about the scenario for the past 2 maps, because it's pretty much been the similar old deal over on Inferno, right? This is where Saw started to gain their lead. Although I do think Nemiga was on that 14th when Saw was around their 4th round, so slightly favoring Nemiga on that Inferno than it is Saw here on Vertigo. I mean, we're expecting extremely close maps here. But so far, we've seen early dominance from both of the sides. Early dominance from the team that has picked this map. And we may be seeing some early dominance on the T side of Nemiga as well. Okay. Chigonate just blows him out of existence. And a little bit of aggression here from Box as he finds those spray downs with the AK-47. Roman down to 12 will be finding the same fate as his fallen teammates. And with 5 players surviving here, Nemiga post-plant look like they are dangerous and here to stay. Just will be falling low as well, perhaps to lose his life, but he will be running away, trying to find some more damage, try and kite a player out of the site, potentially for Arky to do some more damage. But even if they do damage at this point, Nemiga will be winning this one on, and they'll be looking to take on the choo-choo train to success. Well, the Portuguese on a little bit of a save. This balance says hello, finds his opponent's head, and is able to close that one out. And it's also a mental game at this point. Arky will be challenging as well. MDS will be shutting him down, but I think he may die to it. No? Okay, he had plenty of time. I bite my words from that. But yeah, it is sort of a mental game, right, Retro? Because at this point, 3 rounds collected here from the Nemiga side, sort of thinking, okay, we had that on the previous map, but we didn't quite finish it up. We lost the first map. Can they beat us here? Because that might get to their heads, and that might get the better of them. We're just going to have to wait and see, though.
Absolutely. As we jump into round 20, Saw, great chance of winning this game now. Great chance of closing out this map. They've got the investment behind them. They're looking to try and do some early damage. The nade damage is good, actually. Box taking big damage, and actually, to the fault of his own teammate as well. The sandbag nade bounces off the top of the sandbags, goes right back into Box's face, and he's dropped to 34. There will be some mollies being supplied from Stododo to try and hold off the push. The flashbang's good. Oh, the spam's great. But Boggs has nailed it. Through the wall, has found Roman. And a 4 versus 5, and in fact a 3 versus 5 now. 1 HP IDIS balance is placed on. But it is now Saw 2 men down. And these rifles, it has to do so much, and I don't think it will be able to get that much done. As with a minute to go, Nemiga, they seem to be on form now.
They do indeed. Haven't dropped a single player so far, although IDIS balance was such an inch away from death with 1 HP on him so far. 50 seconds remaining as they are looking to get themselves on the A site, but Saw, they're stacking all their players up the right direction. Jay, you're pushing through. Arky with a wide open position is already able to find one as he does get traded out. Mutiris now playing a close little angle, holding down the spray as MDS looks to push through. Just finds a kill over onto Sandbox across ramps there, but now it's down to 2v3 as Mutiris looks to push aggressive. Spray down now. Aggression. A little bit of a crossfire set up there from Nemiga, and they're able to gather up the pieces. It looks like they're not being challenged, although a couple of their players fell down to very low extremes. Nemiga still seem under control. With 4 rounds in a row, they could keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely. Nemiga on a comeback, but Saw, they've got this, like, 6-round buffer, effectively, now, right? Where they could afford to throw away rounds. They could afford to go, you know what? I'm not gonna push forward. I'm not gonna try and do everything within this. I simply just I want to spend my time calculating what Nemiga are doing and trying to counter them. And that's exactly what they're going to do now. On these pistols, they're here to deal damage. They're not here to convert rounds. They're here to just try and get a feel for what Nemiga like to do. Just does get caught out. Arky finds the first headshot. Lollipop will catch him out, though, in response. And now a 4 versus 3 Nemiga. The man up once again, and they'll continue to try and barter with men towards this B site. Extend their lead even, or rather extend their round count and reduce the lead that Saw have against them. There's time ticking away.
Bomb planted. Nemiga Looks to finish this one off. Saw on the rotations though. Mutirius will try and find the kill there. Is able to do quite a bit of damage. Full HP onto Jayo. But will be able to survive to tell the tale at the end of the day. Nemiga. Keep this going. 8th round post the explosion. Doing a stellar job so far in this game in their attempt to come back here. Looking for that 2-0, looking to completely demolish our predictions here, Retro. But Stododo, he's able to find just one to cause a little bit of extra damage to the attack of Nemiga's side. Although with the cheaper terrorist side, the cheaper weaponry, cheaper mollies instead of having the defuse kits as well, they're able to continue with their winning ways and get themselves something very comfortable on their behalf. But have a look at this. Saw now. Get themselves the M4s all around. Get themselves the comfort that they've been craving. They're on the 13th round, still ahead, still potential for them to close out this round. But they've been in this situation for quite some time now, right? They've been on that 12-3 scoreline. Nemiga already closing up so many rounds in a row and starting to become a scary prospect for them. Pushing through, Box will try and find the kill. But I'm not quite sure if they check down sandbags just yet. They need one player to hold it down. Mutirius able to find one. Stododo won't shy away from peeking through. One player into the smoke. Joyo, this is huge. If they don't check it, he may be able to find two. He's able to find one. Make that two. Joyo with 3. Oh my god! How do you do that? They weren't expecting that whatsoever. And all of a sudden, just finds one. The force shadowing was there, and he's able to make it happen. But down to a 2-on-2 as Nemiga look to take it towards the B site. Just holding it down.
What on earth? Nemiga needed a huge play. Jayo is a monster. He's an animal. He's the machine that keeps Nemiga going. Their engine's still running, and it might just be a 9th. Arky needs to deny everything within the round, and I just don't see that happening. I don't see any way that Nemiga are going to get this round slip. That was one of the sickest plays I think I've seen on Vertigo in quite some time. He sits in the smoke. He patiently waits, deliberates, contemplates what he wants to do next, and he does exactly that. Arky can't get the conversion. Going to continue to try and tap down his opponents. Taps the bomb once, the spam's there, and it will be Idis balance to find it. A 9th for Nemiga. But what a play by Jayo, and there's no doubt we have a replay of that. That is so sick.
Man. Just patiently waiting through the smoke. They had literally no idea. Oh! The third was such a beauty. Oh,
Two was enough.
Gorgeous.
2 was enough. But to get 3, to gamble that play, and you couldn't have asked for a better round.
It was both vertical and a horizontal spray transfer on 3 different players. Like, that is so insanely hard to do, but no. Box able to find just one here. CZ thrown out here. Assault, they're in a tough spot. They used pretty much everything they could pull out the previous round, and are looking in a tough spot once more as Nemiga look to get themselves onto that match point. But they do find that first frag and cause difficulty to the Nemiga's push. An extra obstacle at this point, but a bit of boost may come through. The AK-47 picked up from Stododo, a prospect that could be fairly dangerous if they catch them off guard. But I think Lollipop is checking it out. Peak not yet to come through. Finally spotted out. Molly as well will be thrown. They knew exactly what was coming. Had to fall back before they lose too many players. Roman down to 15. That could have been deadly. Jayo already make his way behind scaffolding. He's able to find a nice quick headshot onto Mutirius heading onto the site. 2, 3 kills. Make that 4 as Idis balance finds one more. But they're just dismantling the defense right now. Just all by himself for the Deagle. Surely there's nothing you can do, right? There's not much you can do. As soon as he peeks out, Idis balance holding it down from sandbags. They spot it. They know exactly where he is. Spraying it down, his face is pretty much visible. Ooh. Finds a nice little 1, 2, 3 tap there.
Did he just hit that while falling?
I swear he was. I reckon.
I think he was. And in nearly a second found, MDS will deny. But that is 3 rifles torn away on an eco for Source. So they're counting their victories here. They have to, right? On an eco, they're here to just do the damage. And that's exactly what they've done. It's 10-13 though. It's 7 rounds in a row for Nemiga to take it to 10-13. This is the storyline that we were at last game, I do believe. I think it was 10-13. No, it was 10-14. 10-14. It was 2 rounds won. So Nemiga actually quite in a good stance. If you told me this was a 12-3 half, I would have said, yeah, this game's over. But now it's 10-13. Now it's time for Nemiga to turn up. Just Hits the first shot, cannot connect with a second, missing time and time again. The AWP swung though, and it's a 3 versus 2. Bomb dropped in the open. Jo might just drop a smoke in retaliation, but it's a poor one. Through the corner might just be Arky. Does drop a Molotov in response. Jo trying to back away. What's going on? Nade deep. Arky just eating it up completely. Tag continuing to be done. Dodo walking into the Molotov.
Oh, he's going to be
catastrophic round. Jo finds it. This could have been the round for Saw, but now Arky alone against 2 to try and deliver, to try and find 14. The flashbang's good. And Lollipop to line it up. 11 to 13. That was a terrific round for Nemiga to win, but damage definitely done once again by Saw, but their economy whittled down once again.
Oh, there was no absolutely need for him to push there. They had bomb control. The pressure was on Nemiga. But Saw thought to aggress, and that was the wrong decision because they were holding down the line and are waiting for the counter-terrorists to take it aggressively. Saw they're having a really tough time to figure out when they're supposed to go aggressive and when they're supposed to go on the defense. And that's going to cost them. A tactical timeout coming out now for them. And all of a sudden, it is 8 rounds in a row that Nemiga sound the alarms for Saw. 2 rounds between themselves and their opponents. And it's an eco round to come right through. Nemiga look like they want to get themselves a 12th, and it looks so possible right now.
Yeah. I mean, something to highlight as well, right, is that heading into round 26, so not this one, but the round after, Nemiga, win or loss, I mean, they're going to have enough money to reinvest. But should they win at 12-13, and then Nemiga win the bye, you're looking at 14-13 Nemiga. So everything's possible. Mutiris goes for the aggression, caught out immediately by Jo. Beautiful frag for him. And now, man advantage in Nemiga's favour. Once again, they just control the play. They take their time and they work things through. This is a sick comeback so far. Jo doesn't spot Arky as he crosses around towards the ladder room. They know that they could cross though. I think Jo expected that he could see through, but he just didn't spot Arky. And so maybe they don't expect anyone towards the ladder room. They will now though, of course. They've backed off. It's a free opportunity for them to push. And Arky knows this and will instead push Nemiga's hot trail instead of following them from a different angle. And with a minute to go, Saw, they've actually cornered them in, but Nemiga, we know with these rifles, they can just burst out on A and just disperse the rounds and find heads for Saw.
Absolutely. They can be so dangerous on the Steagles, but what is the morale statement right now for them? Spray coming out, Arky's able to find a nice MP9 kill. Deagle out from Roman, but Jo is able to find a better of them just on top of the site here on the triple box, standing his ground. So Dodo joining in as well. This time he's behind the smoke. Oh, he got spotted out. His bosom was just barely showing there. Box able to find him, and now all of a sudden Nemiga are on a 2v4. Better weaponry as well. They look to get themselves a 12. Saw not able to challenge through this buy. And my, this is disheartening here from Saw. 12-3 was the half-time scoreline. Nemiga get themselves a 12th. Box will be finding just as well. Arky with the MP9. Deagle at hand as well. Won't be doing too much after that. I nearly picked up an MP9 there. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. They've got so much money they could even buy that AK-47, but... Okay, Nemiga, we hear you. You're here to stay. And they are on that 2-win and 1-loss scoreline here in the main Swiss stage. This win will allow them to qualify to the playoffs. The same situation is there for Saw as well. They were on that 2-0 yesterday. They could have qualified yesterday against Harvey, but they still couldn't clutch up the win. It looks like they're under a bit of pressure, not only in this game, but this entire tournament. Something doesn't feel right for Saw the past few days, and they have this round to prove us wrong here. They have this round to turn things right back around and take us to Dust 2. But will they?
Man, this is unreal. How is this going on? Molotov's on our execution on in. Just lines up the first. Re-aggresses for a second. Denied though. The flashes just keep on coming. And Lollipop pushes wide. Runs into the mollies.
No.
Doesn't care. Big damage, no conversion. Eye disbalance though with a first. And now has to try and find even more. And in a 3 versus 4, it's a lengthy task ahead for the Nemiga side. AWP caught out. Arky with another. Jo through the smoke. And finally Saw find their marking. 14-12. It took 12 rounds. Or rather 9 in a row. But 12 rounds overall for Nemiga. For finally to Saw get their mark back into this one. 14-12 the scoreline.
So are you trying to give us a heart attack? Welcome back to the game. It had to take you a few rounds, but now they're back. The double up sort of actually working out for them. And they had most of the players at the right site here. Holding down the B site, they knew exactly what's coming in. Even though it was pretty much like try and use you here with all the flashbangs coming out. It was like there was pretty much a fireworks show going on. But no, Saw on that 14th, may look to get themselves that match point. May look to gain themselves that 15th, but Sedona holding down the line here against Box is able to find that kill. A little bit of a peek may come through. Incendiary may allow them to get drawn out of position. But he's so dangerous here in the sandbox position. Hasn't been able to have too much impact this game, but the previous round is where he came alive. MDS able to find one. Sedodo now behind the smoke. Will get sprayed down to 45 HP, but still surviving somehow. Roman peeking through. He's able to find one quick onto Jayo. Sedodo, he's joining on the fray. Nice little setup here from Nemiga. Finally shutting down Sedodo, but Roman, he's still around. He's able to do more damage. Peek out coming in from MDS. No. Nice little headshot from him. But he's down to 1v2. Could collect the bomb, but saw they're closing up the gap here. And this is intense.
1 versus 2. Originally a 1 versus 3. MDS, half HP, has to find it. Both players towards lane. MDS, he could get caught out completely with timing, and he will. Arky finds it. 15-12. I thought just for a second maybe the 1 versus 3 was possible, but no. Saw find it. They edge their way around. 15-12. This is unreal. Saw, they somehow whiff, and throughout the majority of this half, they just keep on losing, but finally, they're back to their winning form, and heading into round 28, they are 1 minute and 55 seconds away from taking this 16-12, and they are 1 minute 55 seconds away from forcing this to us too.
Oh my god. Nemiga aren't out of it just yet, still have money to buy up, still will challenge for that overtime, but Saw, yes, you said it correctly, Retro. They can just end this one here. They can just take it to dust too with this 1 round win. HE grenades won't be doing too much damage. Nemiga, the past few rounds, they've taken it a lot more aggressive than they did the previous ones, and that's what costed them, I think. Saw just completely lured them out, and now that they're getting close to the scoreline, we saw it with Saw on Inferno as well. As soon as they approach the scoreline of their opponents, it's like something kicks in and they just start to be more afraid and not able to close up the pieces. But MDS now pushing through. Maybe looking to find a kill onto Arky here. As soon as some smoke fades, he will be able to reveal his position. But it's a matter of time. And so MDS may get shot down here. Oh, a bullet just whizzing through his head. He's so scared on this angle right now. With 1 minute remaining. Oh, Arky. They've repositioned together. You could just cut this tension with a knife. Nemiga lining up here onto the A side. MDS causing a lot of distraction here. If he pushes through, rotations might come in. Just a matter of time if they get the push through on the right timings. The Dodo, he's holding down lane. This balance is down. No more AWPer for you. And the peak does come through finally from Jayo, but they do find the return frags. Oh, they knew exactly where MDS was. Peak coming out through from Arky. And now it is a 3v4, 24 seconds remaining. They'll try and get themselves that bomb planted, but they're baiting out on the util at the start. HG grenade thrown out, down to 29 health points here for Box. But they do have the numbers advantage here for the retake. Jay, you're finding one onto Arky, making the numbers equal. They do hold the line. AWP now dropped onto Box as he does try and hold it down from ramp. No. Not quite finding the shot. That could be brutal. That could be the deciding factor here for Saw finding this map. No. But they haven't started with the defuse just yet. Not just yet. And that may be able to hold them down. Jayo coming in from scaffolding. He's able to find 1 round now. They may be able to find more kills, but Roman, they show him down. Jayo, he finds a spray down. They're defusing. He needs to be quick. He's sticky and finds the headshot. No! Jayo keeps them in the game. Being the 13th round. It's not over just yet.
An ace. The man had an ace in his hands. And that is a spectacular performance. Box missing so many shots with the AWP. And Saw, they capitalise upon his position. At this point, he's on 4. Needs to find a headshot with his first bullet. And that is that. Sets it in quite nicely. 13-15. And Saw are on an eco. They're playing for the 16-14. And if Nemiga can take this to overtime, this is going to be one of the sickest games I think I've watched so far. And Nemiga not going to stop in their aggressive ways. Box has already found his way towards the ramp area. Just finds one with a P250. Jayo, though, finds the opener towards a second. Stododo finds the dink, but no conversion. Big swing, no ding. And that has been the storyline for Saw throughout this entire map of Vertigo. Nemiga, they bit back more than Saw could even handle. As utility being flung left, right, and center. Nemiga, they're looking at 14. It's well and truly in their sights, and Saw have no way back into this round. It will be 14-15. It will be going the distance, and we might just see an overtime. This could be unreal. Nemiga now just piecing everything together as much as possible. It's though on the other side now. I want to jump into his POV if we can do that. This man could cause some serious problems. If he peeks up right place, right time. Nope, never mind. Never mind. He was there to basically, latest as possible, to peek his head out, run around, swing wide, and just fire bullets to try and let the bomb do the rest of the work, and it just didn't happen. He got caught out. They played so intelligently and so diligently, and now, round 30 up ahead of us, Nemiga 14, Saw 15.
I knew this game would be close before coming into this best-of-3 series, but I didn't think it'd be like this. I didn't think that these two teams would be absolutely devouring their opponents on the DT side and coming back now with a chance of overtime. Saw still a match point, could end things right here, right now, but they need to find the entries, right? And Nemiga, they're playing it slow. Not going to play over Riga like they did the previous round that costed them that winning streak. They did get just a win right now. AK-47 still picked up here from Just, as he does save it on from the previous round. But Nemiga, this was their downfall, the B site. And it's a good read. If they push towards B, it will be completely open for the taking. It's deserted. So, they bet on the fact that it would be an A take, and this might cost them the round. This might cost them the 16-14 scoreline.
This is unreal. Never would I have expected an A stack to work so poorly. Roman has found the first though, and so there is light at the end of the tunnel. But in a retake, even a man down for Nemiga, this should be very easy. This should be textbook. They spot the shadow. Puritis finds the first. Box in response. Titus bounce with another. Just back and forth. And now the but Bamos to Saw. And it's 16 on the board for them. Nemiga no more on Vertigo. And we're headed to map 3. They'll be screaming with joy. And Saw just find it. 16-14, overtime out of the equation. We're going to map 3. We're going to Dust 2. We're going to throw it to a quick break. But when we are back, we're going the distance.